I never thought I'd see the day that Nintendo would make another 2D Metroid game, so when they just kind of casually announced it after their E3 presentation, I practically shit my pants. Well, here we are only 3 months later and the game is about to come out. You know, up until E3 this year, I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to make this episode and have it be relevant. And then Nintendo just blindsides us and announces 2 games back to back. So, to hold everyone over until Samus Returns, I figured I'd show you guys some Metroid Flash Games that you can play right now. Don't get excited. Alright, since everyone got all pissy in the Megaman Flash Games video, I'm gonna start this off by redacting what I've said previously about this Megaman vs. Metroid game. The first time I played it, I was so tired and I really didn't want to deal with shitty controls, and I didn't have the patience to try and navigate my way through a non-linear level just to see what lies at the end of it. But I thought for this video, I'm gonna give it a second go, and sure enough, yes, you do fight Samus at the end. It's actually kinda cool. On my first playthrough, I figured it would be super long like a Metroid game, which is part of the reason I didn't want to invest too much time into it. Turns out it's only about the length of a Mega Man stage, and you get to see a mini version of the different locations from the first Metroid game. At the end of the stage, you do fight Samus, but the fight is kind of a pain in the ass because the controls aren't super precise. Luckily, the game bugged out and Samus somehow just kind of self-destructed, so I win. Give this one a go, though. I normally don't suggest trying any of the games that I cover in these videos because they all tend to be complete garbage, but this one's kinda cool. This one's called Metroid Genesis. It's a first-person on-rails shooter that's designed to look like something out of the Metroid Prime series. Like I always say in my Flash Games videos, it takes a lot out of me just to get through playing all these games, so I've always just used my wireless keyboard and trackpad from the comfort of my bed. But I think I finally found the game that's gonna make me have to get up off my ass and plug a mouse in. I tried using just the trackpad, but this shit is impossible. Alright, so I plugged a mouse in and now the game's playable. It starts off with a quick little door puzzle, and then it's straight into fighting off a horde of Metroids. But of course, with my luck, I ran into a bug on the first screen. I don't know what happened, but this last Metroid just kind of became invincible, and I sat here for like 3 minutes firing at it until I realized it wasn't gonna die. So I reset it and I managed to get through the first screen. A few screens later, you end up fighting Ridley, and once he's defeated, you beat the game. I played it on easy mode though, and apparently the other modes have longer campaigns. I'm not sure if that means there's more screens before Ridley, or if the game goes on after you defeat him, but this game wasn't all that bad, so maybe you guys should try this one out for yourself too. Looks like we're on a roll here, but I probably just jinxed it by saying that, didn't I? Yep. Definitely jinxed it. As you can probably tell from Samus's character sprite, they tried to make a Metroid Flash game based on Mega Man X. This is just unplayably bad. The controls borderline do not work. Collision detection is just all over the place, and it's hard to tell what's a platform and what isn't. There's water sections just in the middle of fucking nowhere, and just like, they didn't even bother to give the game a background or anything. Just like, in fucking purgatory, I guess. Eventually, I got to the section of ascending platforms that they expect you to jump back and forth from, but it's impossible to make the jump if you're stationary. So they expect you to run and jump off these tiny little platforms, which you can probably see here it's pretty much impossible, especially considering that there isn't even like a fixed rate that you run at. It just kind of does whatever it wants. I tried over and over, but I just legitimately could not get any further in the game. So this one's a Super Metroid quiz that asks specific questions about Super Metroid, such as where items are located or where certain bosses are in the game. When you beat each section, your prize is a bunch of random Metroid art. It's completely broken though, because if you pick the wrong answer, it just kind of sends you back to the previous question. So you can literally not know what Metroid is and trial and error your way through the whole quiz. The thing about this game though is that there's apparently a dot hidden somewhere in the game, and if you can manage to find it, it has some kind of secret surprise for you. Spoiler, I couldn't find it. But then again, I didn't really try very hard. But you know what? That's your homework for the video. Go play this game and find the hidden dot. And if you manage to find it, comment below and let me know what the fuck the secret is, because it's just kind of bothering me now. Game's on Newgrounds. Go have a blast. This one here is called Metroid Ridley's Revenge, and boy did it piss me off. Wanna know why? Fuck you. Alright, in this game, you just shoot Metroids that float past the screen. That's it. There's no timer, no score. The only info on the game at all is in its description that simply just says, fun for about 1 minute. Well, I played it for about 5 before realizing the game doesn't end or tally up any kind of score. You just mindlessly shoot at Metroids. And not even with like a laser beam or anything. Like straight up fucking gunshots. What's up, you little bastards? Welcome to episode 69 of an ongoing series where we basically take the camera anywhere we want, and we try to find secrets and new discoveries in some of our favorite games. Okay, no, but like in all seriousness, this is kind of cool. It's a complete map of the entirety of Metroid 1. I actually got more entertainment out of this than I thought I would. I spent like a whole 5 minutes navigating through the map and all the way to Mother Brain and the end of the game. 5 minutes may not seem like much time, but when you're going through dozens of Flash games, 5 minutes can feel like 12 hours. I can't believe I'm saying this, but hey, this is another one you guys should check out. Never before have I recommended this many Flash games, let alone any at all. But this one's worth checking out, and it's pretty interesting to be able to see how everything is laid out without needing to, play the game. Oh, and hey, while you're at it, go check out Boundary Break on She Says' channel. If this type of thing seems cool to you at all, Boundary Break will be like right up your alley. This is just Space Invaders and it's Metroid themed. I mean, it plays alright, but it's Space Invaders. You like Space Invaders? Cool, me too. This one's a shit show. You control Samus and the Morph Ball by using the cursor to navigate through a randomly generated swarm of Metroids. The problem is, no matter how precise you are and how good you are at controlling the game, the Metroids will inevitably form an unavoidable wall that you literally need to collide with. I tried over and over again, but no matter what, there are always numerous spots where Metroids just are not far enough apart from each other to slip through them without being touched. The game counts your score by going up as you move forward and deducts points whenever you make contact with a Metroid. The first score I got was a 470, and the few games I played after, I never managed to make it back up that high. So I was determined to at least get a 500 before I stopped playing the game. Eventually, with a little help from RNGesus, I managed to pull it off, and no, doing so was not satisfying nor rewarding. I feel like one day when I'm finally on my deathbed, my life will flash before my eyes. Flash. And I'll just have like one long montage of all the time I've wasted with dumb shit like this. Which I guess means watching the entirety of my channel. Here's an auto runner, and it's not too bad actually. Like other endless runners, you basically have to pay attention to the level layout and respond promptly and appropriately. The two input options you have allow you to either jump or turn into the Morph Ball. There's these little collectible items, but I never managed to figure out exactly what they're for. The game actually gets pretty hard with its platforming, and in a lot of situations actually requires some really precise jumping. I was all set to recommend this game until I found a game-breaking bug. You can jump infinitely. After figuring this out, I couldn't bring myself to play the game properly anymore, so that sucked all the fun I was having right out of it. Anyway, I cheesed my way through the rest of the game and made it to the end, but then this happened. Yep, you're seeing correctly. Samus's ship straight up noped right the fuck out of the way upon trying to board it. Okay, I had legitimate fun with this one for a while. I love games like this, and I used to play them all the time on the library computers when I was in high school. It's called Metroid Maze, but it's not so much a maze as it is an obstacle course for your cursor. Like the last game, though, I was having fun with it until I realized the whole game could be cheesed. At the end of the instructions, it says to read the author's comments to learn about how to cheat. But I didn't want to do that because cheating would just take all the fun out of the game. It's a shame because some of the boss fights are actually pretty cool and require you to take out a few different targets to actually defeat the boss, kind of like the final stages of Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. It's surprisingly decent game design. But anyway, I just kind of went on my way, playing the game, having a moderately good time, but then I thought about what the instructions said, and I remembered. I remembered back from when I was a kid, and everyone would cheat on these kinds of games. You just right-click. You right-click and the game no longer tracks the cursor on the screen, so it has no idea that you're out of bounds. It's as if you're hovering over the game. You just right-click, drag the cursor to the exit, and left-click back into the game. That's it. Game ruined. God damn it. Alright, what the fuck is this shit? Is that supposed to be a Metroid? Alright, let's go. Ew, gross. So, I guess this is supposed to be like a regular Metroid game, except, gross. Right in the beginning, I wandered around this hallway for like 3 minutes thinking I was stuck before realizing I had to shoot the floor. Once you fall down and reach the floor below, you have to fight this robot thing that takes roughly 500 billion shots to kill. It took so many hits that I legitimately thought I wasn't actually doing damage to it. But seeing as how I couldn't proceed, I just kept firing at it, and eventually it died and I was able to go on. I can't even begin to describe to you how floaty and terribly this game controls, and any words I could use just would not accurately convey how terrible this feels. Anyway, once you make it past a few screens, receding hairline suit Samus has to fight this disgusting amalgamation of a boss, but not before first straight up taking a fucking girder to the chest. No idea how she even survived that, but the boss is too fucking hard and I died. And instead of the typical Metroid death scene, you get kind of like a continue countdown screen where Samus starts rapidly convulsing faster and faster until she buys the farm. I've had to censor it because the game went the extra mile for the death animation. I don't know how to end videos. This all sucked. Go buy Samus Returns. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, maybe give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. If you want to see more right now, there's a couple videos right there you can click on. Do it. You fucking won't. But no, please do that. I need money for food.